The new spirit of radio. 101. Indie 101 FM.
What is up? What is up? It's currently 7:49 right now, chilling out. And as I said, we're supposed to have an interview, so it's a little late, but we still have the guy in here. What is up? What is up?
What is up, man?
Introduce yourself.
Sorry about the lateness, but I am here. I got in from the cold, all the way from downtown, to make it out to Hamilton.
How long did it take you?
Like 80 hours.
That's what it felt like.
Dedication.
Yeah.
Better late than
This is
never.
what I do for the music, man.
Yeah, you gotta be dedicated for it, right? So in general, how long have you been in the music scene and doing your thing? Like, what inspired you to start?
Well, it was always a dream, but for a lot of us who start making music, it starts off in high school. Everybody raps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody's rapping in the hallway. And where I came up, when I went to high school, I went to high school out in Pickering. I moved out from Scarborough to Pickering, and I went to the school called Pickering High. And for those of you who know, in late 2000, mid 2000s, I should say, not trying to date myself by any means, but I went to school with who they now call Boy Wonder, and I went to school with T- and a lot of those guys. So. Yeah. It was just something that we were doing, and the energy was very fierce back then. So we all wanted to just make it, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many mixtapes do you have? Is there just one mixtape you have? Or?
No, I had 2 mixtapes released in 2011. The first one was more of a compilation called The Last 12 Months, where I'd released a lot of material in 2010, which led over into 2011, which is why it was called The Last 12 Months. And shortly after that, I wasn't really, overwhelmed with the response. I wasn't loving it. Yeah. Because, when you're making music and you're gathering all that product and then you put it out and then you package it again as a mixtape, in large part it's not where you may be at when it's out. Yeah. And for me, I wasn't satisfied with that. I'm always on to the next as far as the musical, creation process. So shortly after that, 2 months after, I put out Just Rap, and that was a mixtape. Yeah. And I was a lot more well received with the reception of it, and being able to do a lot more videos and exposure and shows, and just getting a name out there. Those were the first 2 projects I put out. Yeah.
With Just Rap, you did a video for that, right?
Did too.
And that's where you're kind of like making fun of the industry and what they want you to be. Yes. Do you find that it's coming up a lot more now, that people want to mold you into something else when you're trying to go into a different lane?
People will always try and put your music into a box, and that's one thing you can never do. You can never let anybody tell you what you're supposed to do or tell you what music you're trying to make, because it's your vision, right? Yeah. And essentially, they need you. You don't really need them. And if anything has been learned in the past like maybe 10 years in the record industry, it's that the record labels are pretty much useless right now. The artists are the ones, the biggest artists right now have made a platform for themselves with, with the Drakes, and we're just talking off air about the Macklemores, and even Kendrick Lamar. These are people who created their own brand and created their own identity, and then the record labels seek them out. Yeah. So by all means, I'm making fun of the record industry all day.
So aside from the record industry wanting you to be something, who are you then? Like, describe yourself.
I'm hip hop, man. To the core. Like, every ounce of me is hip hop. As an artist, you know, like somebody who paints. You have a palette, and then you have all these different kinds of paints there that you draw from. The one I happen to use is hip hop. So yeah, I'm hip hop.
It makes sense. So I'm guessing, like, from that perspective, you probably wouldn't, I guess, be one of the artists that would mix and match what kind of genres you do. Like, are you strictly just gonna like stick with hip hop, or do you ever see yourself kind of branching out just to show that you can do something different?
Well, you know, it was all a process for me. Like with the last 12 months, I wanted to make a statement as far as the kind of hip hop that, you know, it was the first thing I'd done, and I wanted everyone to know that my base will always be hip hop. With Just Rap, I kind of expanded on that and was trying to showcase that you can make a lot of different kinds of records in the genre of hip hop, which people think you have to, you know, maybe use auto-tune or have a feature on every record, or, you know, genre bend, as they say, and, you know, do crossover stuff, which there's no problem with at all. But I wanted to showcase that with the last project I just put out. I wanted to be versatile with it, and I definitely wanted to showcase my array of, you know, things that I like.
Yeah.
You know, and things that I grew up listening to and what I consider to be quality music.
How did you hook up with Frank Ryan? Because his sounds a lot different than yours for Higher, which is the latest single.
Yeah.
For everyone that doesn't know.
Yeah. I was walking down Queen Street in Toronto downtown, summer of 2011, and I can't even remember where I was going, but I was in a hurry, and I was walking down the street, and I saw this guy just playing on his guitar, and I was like, this guy's dope. I'm gonna check him when I get back. And I was walking back, and I saw him again, and I was like, yo, you know, here's my card, I'd love to do something with you, you're crazy. And he was like, yeah, sure, man, whatever. So I hit him up like maybe 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
No answer. I was like, oh man, this guy's just blowing me off. And then one night I was on the train, and I was going back up to Scarborough, and I saw him, and we were just kind of looking at each other, and I couldn't remember where I'd seen him from. I have the worst memory.
Yeah.
It's true.
The worst.
It's true.
And we were just kind of looking at each other, and it was just like, oh man, L. And I was like, Frank. And he was like, I meant to hit you up. I just went out to New York, and I lost your card, and I checked out some of your stuff, and I would love to do something with you. And over the course of that year, that was about September 2011, over the course of that year, we worked on that record, Higher, and we put it together, and finally got it right.
Long days, long nights
No
for working to it.
No
Let's
idea,
play
man.
it.
Yeah, exactly. What we're going to do is currently 7:56. We're going to come back in a little bit, ask more questions. But we do have the song that we were just talking about, Higher, right here for you guys. L, stay tuned in. This is Indie 101.
Need more than 15 minutes to blow. Hitters can't tell time, they never gon' know. When it's E40, I'ma tell them when to go. Been through really critical junctions with a whole lot of pricks like acupuncture who wanted to see my future rupture, but it wasn't a way, gotta have instruction. Ain't know it at the time, like don't have instruction. I was down and out, didn't know how to function. Dream big as a 06 Jennifer Hudson, hit to put your jeans on a Jenny Craig production. But I know I ain't had it like that. His eyes on the sparrow like Captain Jack, so I know from now on I ain't never gon' lack. Keep my head to the sky, I ain't never going back like
for the stars, get high as the sky, steal away in the comfort of the night. Shoot for the stars, get high as the sky.
What is up? What is up? It's currently 8:11 right now. We got Jammin Wit Jay, and as I said about 20 minutes ago, we are in the building with L, the 12th letter, having an interview and whatnot. So, in general, with your music and whatnot, you have a mixtape that you just released. No, it's not a mixtape. It's an album. You released? Okay.
It's an album.
Okay. Why? Oh, there we go.
It's all good. It's an album.
Okay. And have you got like good feedback from that, or?
Feedback's been amazing.
No, okay. And how long did you work on that for?
I recorded that project for over a year and a half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When I was at, sorry, continue.
Go ahead,
I was just gonna
go
say,
ahead.
when I was at Rise and the first time that like I met you, you performed 12th Insight, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The second I heard that, because you performed it, it sounded like straight up like a poem, and I was like, oh, I want to hear this album now. I remember running after his friend, like giving out stickers. I was like, tall guy, can I have a sticker, please?
Shout out to Jeff.
Yeah.
And who's Jeff?
Jeff's just like my personal security / best friend.
Oh man, gotta have one of those, right?
Yeah, it's like a big light skinned dude. You can never go wrong with that.
Oh, wow. Okay, so otherwise, you just released album, getting good feedback on that. What else do you see yourself doing like during this year? We have summer coming. Like, do you see another like album mixtapes or anything coming? Or
well, we're on the second single right now that was just released like Friday.
Yeah.
So the video for that will be out probably by the end of February. Each single has, I like to have a lifespan for at least 4 months per single. Couple that with a video and a lot of shows in between.
Yeah.
March, I am going to announce a U.S. tour that I'll be on very shortly within the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then probably a third single and a video, and then, there'll be little things that I throw out in between as far as new material to, propel the Hear No Evil Music to My Ears project that is out now. But as I said before, always on to the next. So, I'm working on stuff.
Yeah.
Always working.
And is there anyone that you would really like to kind of work with, or is there?
Yeah, man. It all just depends on what happens next for me. If I'm able to, end 2013 any way close to, the way I began the year, I'll hope to be working on like a official studio album for 2014. And I have like a bucket list of features and producers that I'd love to work with. Hopefully I get a call that I'm waiting on. There's a DJ premiere show coming up at the end of February. He's somebody I'd love to work with on the next project. Primo is like, I looked up to the sky for everybody out there in listenerville right now. That's a god of producers right there.
Okay.
For me at least.
So in terms of other people that you look up to, like who kind of like inspired your style of getting into music?
It's so many people. I listen to so many different things as far as music. It's a sad thing right now that hip hop isn't the thing that inspires me to make music. But growing up, in the years that I was like very impressionable, there was Big, there was Jay, there was Pac. My favorite rapper is Nas. Nas in his prime. Nobody's messing with Nas in his prime. There's Fab. Take a lot of things from early Fab, and then there's other genres that you draw from, like Stevie Wonder, MJ, of course, the Beatles, the Stones, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like, good music is good music, and as I was saying earlier, you can't put it in a box, and that's the same way I want people to look at my music.
Yeah, well, that's definitely like it's a good thing. Like as I was saying earlier, like asking if you would step in a different genre and kind of higher, as she was saying, is you kind of, it wasn't really something you saw or that she saw as something that would really emerge because like of his different style and your different style. But like, if you're saying that you grew up off that and that was kind of like inspiration where you kind of listened to Stevie Wonder and or the Beatles and this and that, right? Like you go for what's there, right? So it's
you go for the vibe.
You have to draw from all different genres to make something sound right.
Exactly.
Yeah. You shouldn't say I can only make this kind of record, and you also shouldn't go into it saying I want to make this specific type of record either.
Yeah.
Because then you're limiting yourself to so many just like fixed points as far as where you can go sonically, and that sucks.
Yeah. I can definitely agree with that.
What was the hardest song for you to make on Hear No Evil? Like mentally or like even time consuming? They
all took a lot of time to make, but the song that took the most time was probably Martin. Right. Just because you guys will get a chance to hopefully listen to the album, and for everyone out there, please go get that Hear No Evil Music to My Ears plug. It took like 4 or 5 years to write that song. When you're taking and drawing from actual real experience, it's so hard to make sure it's perfect. And I'm a perfectionist with my stuff. Like, I'll sit there until it's right. I'm not one of those people who write a song like 8 times. I write it once, I commit it to memory once.
Yeah.
And that's it. Nobody's ever gonna hear the bad stuff. I made 13 tracks on this album, and a lot of artists, you know, they make maybe 50 records and they choose the best, you know, 18, 19. We only cut like 16, 17 songs for this, and we have 13.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going for quality over quantity. So nobody's ever gonna hear the stuff that I don't want them to hear. So Martin, was something that I worked on for a long time to get the story right, to produce it properly, to just make every detail in it as accurate as possible. So
strip down from it, aside from the beat, because it's a really good beat. But for those of the listeners who haven't heard it, what is the storyline in Martin?
The storyline in Martin was basically I was about maybe like 18, 19 years old, and I had a group of friends, and our vision was always to be musicians, right? And when you're first starting out in the music industry, you don't know a lot of people. So, you know, you're looking for studio time. You go to the maybe one place you've heard of, and they charge you crazy amounts of money, and you can't afford it, but that's all that's all you have access to at the time. So for us, we were faced with, you know, trying to make music and not having enough money, and obviously your parents are giving you crazy amounts of dollars to go make music. My parents are black, so you know, we essentially took stuff that wasn't ours from somebody out of town, to put it in short. Yeah,
I don't know.
You filter that out.
Yikes.
Yeah.
How you want.
Yikes.
And so you usually have your random question that you always ask when we do interviews.
Yes. Performing, what's been the craziest experience, like fan experience or anything? Has anyone done anything super crazy while you're performing? Or even just your favorite time performing?
I give you two.
Okay.
My favorite time performing would probably have to be, I was doing like a little promo campaign in and around Toronto right before the album came out, where actually I met Tia. It was at this great community like
Rise
program. Shout out to Randall. Rise Poetry in the Scarborough Town Center, and you know, I had no intention of going there to perform. I just wanted to go and, you know, kind of see what it was about. A lot of my friends are always there, and they're always telling me about it and whatnot. So I just went to go check it out and see what it was, you know, going on there. And the energy was just so amazing in there. And then, you know, I got up to do my thing, and just the response was just so overwhelming. We live in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
You know, for lack of a better term, and love isn't always something that is forthcoming for, you know, artists that aren't on local radio or even Kiss or Virgin and whatnot. And the way that they just embrace, you know, the community and the artistry and people with talent of any kind. You could play, you could sing, do poetry. It was just a great experience that I'd never felt before. Being from Toronto, I'd never felt that in Toronto. I've usually gotten a better response for my music outside of Toronto, everywhere but Toronto. And this was like, you know, it was special. And the worst probably performance, it's probably one of my first shows. I just forgot everything. And I ended up just like freestyling my way through it. It sucked for me, but you know, nobody else really knew.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's the best part.
Exactly. If you can flow with it, no one's going to catch on to it.
Nobody will catch on, but you still walk off feeling like, man.
Yeah, you hate yourself a little bit.
Screwed this up. Yeah.
But
you learn from it though.
Exactly. Every experience is definitely something like it's more knowledge for you, right? The more experiences that you go through and the mess ups that you do, you kind of follow through to make sure that you don't do the same thing, right? So it's good that those kind of things happen. Like
I'm sure you guys, you know, you've had a bad show, and then you say, you know, you listen back and you're like, okay, well, I know what I got to do better next time.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
It happens. It's a learning experience.
It's life. In general, man, it's life.
What about for people that are up and coming that, you know, might be making the same mistakes that you did? What would you say to them?
I would say to work on your craft tirelessly before you actually put music out, because once you put it out there, people will pick it apart every which way. And as a new artist, you know, you take that stuff to heart. I had people tell me to stop rapping. I had people tell me, you know, like, you'd be better off maybe you went to school, got a job. You know, it's a hard industry to break into. You know, you'll get a litany of just different kinds of personalities telling you why you shouldn't do this. And you can't really take that to heart, but at the same time, you gotta be sure to give them as few reasons as possible to tell you not to do this. You know what I mean? Let it be for everything else, but for the fact that you put the time in. Because as long as you put the time in, nobody be able to tell you nothing.
Yeah, well, like, you honestly, like, you have to keep on your game and keep through it regardless of what people say to you, right? Like, it's, if you see a dream, you never back down from it. Right. So there's always going to be people that kind of try to kick you down and keep you down from doing what you want, right? But if you can keep on it, like, it's all the better. It's just all the better.
And you know, as I said, to reiterate, if you put your time into what you're doing, you'll be fine. Like, a lot of it in this game, in this industry, isn't, you know, what they make it out to be. I'm a big believer in quality and talent. You know, like, it can be who you know for a large part of it, but if you look at the biggest artists and the ones that have the longevity that every artist wants, it's because they put out amazing bodies of work. And the ones that don't have the staying power usually don't have the talent, and that just goes back to, you know, how much time you put into cultivating that skill.
It makes sense. Yeah, like, honestly, like, there's just some people, like, when you put something out, you really have to take time and really focus on what you're putting out, because you're creating your own image, right? So if you make that one slip, it's like, okay, you either have to make a big comeback or, you know, so it happens, and it's the industry, it's life in general. Like, you have to double think everything. You have to. It's life, honestly. So it's currently 8:24 right now. Still hanging out. We're gonna come back on one more time so you can get the shout outs in, and obviously, like, promote the recent album. But right here for you guys is Off With Their Heads, right here on Indie 101.
You said to fear no evil in the shadow of death, but I cannot hear it either. This is what it's come to. Something like a shark, I smell blood in the water. Wolf in sheep's clothing, I bring a lamb to slaughter. The COA gang, you ought to come harder. Boss, I like Sparta, Sparta meets Hurricane Carter. DJs know, soon as they get the check, I hit them with the Walter Payton flow, telling them run it back. It's only a matter of time before I bust. I got a silly set of syllables inside the syllabus. Chuck D attitude, he gotta be in front of me. Double display, but I'm cool with being a public enemy. Thinking Jacks ain't got no identity, so I got the remedy. I send y'all into Kennedy. Tired of wet rappers, said they better off dead. Yeah, no said, off with their head. Try to in it for the bread, not the love instead. Yeah, no said, off with their head. Sons make hellos, off with their head. Filling the rooms of hollows, off with their head. They throw them in the towers, off with their head. They can play the game flower, off with their head. I ain't no leader of the new school. I'm a vigilante, got a red dot on your head, and you ain't Pakistani. In every little cranny, I be here to up the ante. My style is like a tranny, cause it's so uncanny, but not transsexual. I'm an intellectual, a rap, I'm a professional, but that's no question, yo. Rather not kill you, have you fall by the wayside. No bellin' to save you, this ain't Bayside. I don't want your blood on my conscience, but I know, gotta forgive me, cause I gotta stop that nonsense. So all wet rappers form a line and cop the squat. That way, I could just put your head on the chopping block. Get tired of wet rappers, said they better off dead. Yeah, no said, off with their head. Try to in it for the bread, not the love instead. Yeah, no said, off with their head. Sons make hellos, off with their head. Filling the rooms of hollows, off with their head. They throw them in the towers, off with their head. They can play the game flower, off with their head. My 16 says something like guillotine, so trust me, son, you're not the one like Billie Jean. Sniff out real from fake, well, all of you rap singers, I just smell like lingering on the swingers' fingers. Looking at me like they ain't got a clue. Like, you gon' change the game, your army, or you and who? I relate, get familiar with the crew. Plus, Rob Bates told me that it only takes two. Like film projectors, L keeps it real.
101 FM.
What is up? What is up? It's currently 8:43 right now. You guys are Jammin Wit Jay, and we're just coming back on air. You know, you guys had the interview that you guys were just listening to with L, and I played 2 songs for you guys. We had Off With Their Heads, and we also had Higher as well. But he has a recent album that he released, so you want to promote that and tell them where they can try to find that to, you know, get some of your music.
Well, you can get it via my SoundCloud right now. SoundCloud/12th Letter Music. That's 12THLETTER Music. Hit me up on Twitter, also 12th Letter Music, and it's also available in select HMVs in the Greater Toronto area. And if you want a copy, you can also get one at the show. I got a show at the Harborfront Center on February the 2nd with my homegirl Tika Simone. So yeah, come out to that February 2nd, 6 o'clock.
A couple people from Rise are performing at that too.
Yeah.
Love.
Like, who? Do you know who else is there, or?
Yeah, I know a few artists that are gonna be there. Phoenix Pagliacci, Brandon Phillips. I know John River. Shorty's doing his thing. Very, very dope up and coming artist that I checked out recently. Who else is gonna be there? I know Jelly 2 Fly is gonna be there. And there's gonna be a lot of talent there, man. It's a 2-day show, spanning from the Saturday to the Sunday.
What time do you go on?
I'll be there at 6 o'clock on Saturday.
Oh, so it's an early event.
Huh?
It's somewhat of an early event.
Well, it's a city thing, right? So
yeah,
it starts at like I think 12, and then it goes to 6, and then it picks up again at like 12 on Sunday and goes to about 6.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
That's a crazy event. I'll try to head out for that.
Shout out to
honestly.
Simone, known unknown.
Yeah. She's actually like I met her 2 weeks ago, and she's a funny girl. Like
greatest.
Exactly. Greatest. I can definitely agree with that. No, like she's doing her thing, and she's definitely helping out. She's doing a similar thing that we're trying to do, just contacting the up and coming, and you know she seems to have a lot of fun with it. Right?
You got to definitely shout out those people who are giving, you know, up and coming artists, and this is the emerging artist showcase, but just any artist in general a platform to be heard, because it's not something that you can ever take for granted, as I said, being from Toronto.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely. So if there's any other shout-outs you want to give before you go, shouts
out for you guys for having me here, man.
Thank you.
You guys for having me here. I definitely would have not come to Hamilton on my own.
A lot of people won't, right?
Yeah, but no, definitely shouts out to you guys. Shouts out to my crew, the Winner Circle, Echo Effect, Bad News, Big Homie Jeff, Aaron, Notorious, my DJ Smarties. So yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for tuning in, people. We'll try to come on one more time, just so the host can say goodbye and whatnot. Thank you for tuning in. Tune in next week as well for the big show, the up and coming. We're going to have a lot of artists and producers coming in.
Rhyme them off, Jordan.
What?
Rhyme them off. Who's
I don't rhyme.
List them off, Jordan.
Why are you saying like that? Trying to create new slang and whatnot.
It's not new. Just tell who's coming in next week.
Okay, next week we should have John River coming in. Hopefully we can get Case. He's in Brazil right now, but who knows what happens. We'll have Tuga. We'll have Tuga coming in. TY hopefully as well. EJ Grant 88 Flow.
Mike Laurie.
BU. Yeah.
Mike Laurie.
Yeah, Mike Laurie should be coming in as well. This guy Wally that goes by Flow should be coming in. You know, there's a list long of guys that should be coming in. So it's gonna be a crazy show.
Studio.
Sounds dope.
Yeah.
Listen in.
It's gonna be crazy.
People,
we're gonna be doing quick interviews from 6 to whenever, and after that we're going to get into some ciphers and freestyles. It's going to be a crazy show, and we're going to be doing it every 2 months, so you know you definitely want to tune in every 2 months for that, and just tune in every week for my show in general. Why not, right? But yeah, we'll be back in a little bit because he was talking a little bit with John River in the event that they have on February 2nd. You know, I wanted to play some John River for you guys. So right now, if you guys don't remember him, John River from Mississauga, every evening on Indie 101.
Yo, we gonna end this shit on a lighter note.
From me a I told my mother I would.
I'd like to thank everybody for listening to the com.
I'm still breathing, falling in love every evening.
This is
so
a celebration,
we just gonna stay teenage dreamers
to enjoy.
On this way, I
told my mother I would.
What can I say? I'm still breathing, falling in love.
For my niggas couldn't show you how to cook, but they could show you how to bake. Said wake up in the morning, go and change your fate. They say good things come to those who wait. Forget that, my brother, go and get your cake. Cause I'm all about my cream, I'm busy chasing dreams. My city on my